Hey, what's going on, guys? I was getting ready to start to make some Sunday morning bagels. That's just what they're called. And I figured I'd just make a video real quick since I'm doing it anyway. So I started out, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I have a really active starter right now and I'm trying to use it. It already bubbled over twice, so I'm trying to knock it out. But I already weighed my starter. I got 150 grams of really bubbly active starter, and I'm getting 250 grams of warm water. So I'm going to weigh this out. I'm going to have to ask you to excuse the mess behind me. I actually just took out some sourdough that I've been working on. This is one that I just whipped up, no real recipe, just using the baker's percentages on this. Nice and soft. Not the best crumb. Crumb didn't go all the way up, but that's fine. This is perfectly suitable for eating. Alright, so 250 grams of water. And then we're going to get 24 grams of sugar. And usually I like to prepare the kitchen beforehand, but you know what? It's an active kitchen, so I'm not really worried about it. So 24 grams of sugar. This will really activate the yeast that's naturally inside the sourdough starter. Alright, 24. Okay. Alright, now we're going to give this a really good stir with the fork. Get it all mixed in there before we mix in the flour and the salt. Really nicely. You can obviously use a whisk if you want to, but I'm not. Okay. Okay, now we're going to mix in 500 grams of bread flour for this particular recipe. 500 grams. So I keep mine in a little cereal container, but it's the only thing I got. So let's go 500 grams. Alright, that is 289. Let's open up a fresh bag of King Arthur flour. It's basically the only flour I use if I can. It's the only one, it's the one I prefer. So I'm trying to do this quick because I don't have too much more memory space on my phone, which is what I take my videos on. Alright, 291 grams. Alright, that's 519. Take a little bit out. It's a little too aggressive with the shaking. Don't want this to be too dry. Alright, that'll work. Set this to the side. Alright, now we're going to do 9 grams of fine sea salt. I'm going to bring this down here. I got these nice little display cups. Set that right there. Here's my fine sea salt. As you can see, I have a loaded spice cabinet. Alright, a little too much. That's fine. Yeah, 10. That's good. Alright, so this is going to be a pretty firm dough. So I like to put it on my mixer. I don't know if you can see it or not, because I can't see the face of my phone. Put on the dough hook. Slap it down. And let it rip. That's going to go for about 5 to maybe 10 minutes. Like I said, it's going to be real stiff dough. And once it's done, you're going to take it out. Not really take it out. You're going to fold it around, move it around, try and form a nice smooth ball. And then cover it with a towel, and then let it sit for 45 minutes to an hour. And then after it's rested, reform it into a ball again, cover it, and then let it rest at room temperature for 7 to 10 hours. So I'm making this at 9 o'clock at night, so this will be perfect for in the morning. I'm also going to be making some English muffins, so stand by for that video as well. So I'm gonna cut the video here, then go to make my English muffins. So I'll see you in that video. Well, good morning. It's been about 12 hours since we made our sourdough bagel dough, and it's been sitting in the oven ever since at about 75 degrees, because inside my oven with the oven light on, that's the temperature it sits. It's nice and warm because it's cold here in California in certain areas. Room temperature isn't always, reliable. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this. We're going to dump out the dough, stretch it out into a rectangle, cut it into 8 equal pieces, and round them. Put them on parchment paper and let them rest about 10 to 15 minutes so the gluten can relax. Then once it's relaxed, we're going to poke holes into it, stretch them out into a nice bagel shape, and then let them rest again. So let's go ahead and get to it. This dough's been resting all night, and look how incredible that is. That dough looks amazing. It's super nice and puffy. That's awesome. So we're going to dump this onto a non-floured surface because we do want it to stick a little bit, so as we're making it. So we're going to go ahead and dump this out. All right. What a beautiful dough. Look at that. Oh yeah. Perfect. So now I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. It's not terribly sticky because this was a firmer dough we started with anyway. So if you use a wetter dough, it's going to be looser and much stickier. So firm doughs, see, it's not sticking to my hands. It's great. So now that we have a rectangle, we're going to cut this into 8 pieces. Now mind you, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is for home cooking. It's not like you're working in a professional bakery making these things. Alright, so I got my dough scraper, so I'm going to cut into 8 equal pieces. First, I'm going to go down the middle. Okay, and then 3 cuts. There you go. 8 pieces. So we're going to gather the ends and flip it over until it becomes a nice round shape. This is a real simple thing. You just hold it, you grab a side, you pull it into the middle. You turn it a little bit, do the same thing. As you're going to see, it's going to start getting a really nice smooth surface. And then you can bring it onto the counter, spin it, get a little tension on it. There you go, a beautiful little ball. We're going to transfer that over here onto the parchment paper to rest. So we're going to do that with these other 7 pieces. This can take from a few seconds to, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute for each one, depending on your level of experience. So I've been doing this for a little bit. I'm not some crazy good baker by any means, but I have taken an interest in it, and that's why I'm doing it. So I'm trying to better myself because sourdough is quite difficult to master, and I am by no means a master at sourdough. And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of putting my pinkies underneath and just pulling, and it helps create that tension. You don't want to do too much because you can create too much tension and it'll actually rip the top. So you don't want to do that. You just want to create that extra little bit. Now, cooking is not my full-time job. This is just a hobby I have, and that's the way it is for most people. I'm trying to make healthier meals for my family, and everyone seems to really like sourdough breakfast bagels. Now what's cool about these bagels is that when it gets time to cook in them, you can really add any topping you want. I have an everything bagel seasoning. It's delicious. It's got sea salt in it. It's got blackened sesame seeds, normal sesame seeds, some other stuff. Oh, it's fantastic. You can hear my kids in the background. They're playing Roblox and Minecraft. 5, almost done. Now you can obviously skip over this if you want to. Obviously, I can't. So I have to do all of it. If I could fast forward through this process, I don't think I would. Because I do kind of like it. It's nice to get your hands on some dough and make something. Make something your family likes, make something you like, make something that is tasty and enjoyable. I've shared these with neighbors. I have a neighbor, see this one's a little small. It's okay. It's okay if they're small. They're going to bulk up once you cook them. Maybe not too much, but they will. But my neighbors like these. I make a whole bunch of sourdough stuff. And my neighbor across the street, he loves sourdough. So whenever maybe I make an extra batch of something, I'll give him a couple pieces. He loves it. So he's grateful. My kids are grateful. They always tear these up when they can. Alright, so now that we got these, they're going to rest for 10 to 15 minutes to relax. You don't need to cover them. You can, but you don't have to. Once they rest for 10 to 15 minutes, then we're going to poke a hole in them, stretch them out, and then let them rest again. So, see you in 15 minutes. Alright, 15 minutes have passed. These have puffed up just a little bit. So what we're going to be doing now is you're going to be poking a hole in the middle, stretching them out, and then letting them rest for another 15 to 20 minutes with a damp towel over top. Damp this time. So, can you go ahead and get a baby spoon? This will be fine. So you just take it, find the middle, and poke the hole. So, now we got the hole, just kind of work your finger into it and stretch it out. Okay. Stretch it. Like I said before, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about perfection, okay? Get it stretched out. These might look tiny and small, but they will get much bigger, much bigger. Alright, just like that. So it'll shrink back down a little bit, and that is perfectly fine. Next one, just like that. There you go. That's much better. Look at that. See? Nothing too incredibly difficult. So these holes will more than likely close back up, and that's okay. They're still going to be bagels. They're still going to taste delicious. So don't beat yourself up about it. Home cooking is not always about perfection. It's just not. Home cooking about it is enjoying doing it while you're doing it, and then tasting it afterwards. Watching your kids be like, so good. That's what it's about. Don't worry if they look ugly. Don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. Stretch them out. Nice little bagels. So you gotta stretch this one out quite a bit, and the hole's already closing up. That one just kept stretching. Alright, almost done. Looks good. Now these are going to rest for another 15 to 20 minutes. And this is the towel, still kind of damp from earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and let this rest over it. 15 to 20 minutes, they will puff up. Then we'll come back and cook them. Alright, so we are now at the cooking phase of the bagels. So as you can see, I got a pot full of boiling water right here. This is to essentially pre-cook the bagels. Now we're going to add a tablespoon of honey to the boiling water. It's about a tablespoon right there. Maybe a little bit more. Alright, I'm just going to start in real quick. Just real gently. Don't want to do anything crazy. Just real gentle. Okay. Now that that's stirred in, we have our amazing bagels. They've been resting for a little bit now. As you can see, they've puffed up quite a bit. So now we're going to take them about 3 to 4 at a time, place them in here, and then let them boil on both sides for about 30 seconds. We're going to be real gentle here. We don't want to misshape them too much. Gently put it in water. In the meantime, you're going to preheat your oven to 425. So these are ready to go in once, well, they're all ready. Perfect. those are gonna cook, and as you can see, I have everything bagel. It has sea salt, garlic, onion, poppy seeds, and sesame seeds. It's fantastic. But you can also put whatever toppings you want on these. So it's not that big a deal. Let these cook another maybe 10 seconds, then we'll start flipping them. Then you'll notice that they puff up quite a bit during this process too. So these are going to be pretty decent sized bagels. Look at them go. All right, now we flip. All right, another 30 seconds on this side. Then once they're done, we're going to take them out, flip them onto our parchment paper, and then hit them with the everything bagel seasoning. So 30 seconds will give them a nice crisp crust, which is really nice on bagels, as I'm sure you know. All right, that's about right. These out, drain them off a little bit, give them a nice flip. Look at that size difference. Look how much they puffed up. It is crazy. All right, then the next 4. I went upside down. That's okay. Flip them. There we go. All right, let those go. Now, while these are going, we're gonna hit them with the everything bagel seasoning. Get them real nice. You want to do it while they're still wet. That way it really bakes in. These are best enjoyed same day or next day, but after that, if you keep them in a bag, they'll start to get really soft and kind of tacky. So these are really good if you're going on a little trip or like a picnic or something. They're ready to go. Press that in a little bit. All right, see these flip. Wow, that's a massive one. It's gotten huge. And once they're all done, once they're all seasoned properly and nicely, we're going to pop them in the oven, and we will come back when it's oven time. All right, everything is really nice and seasoned, ready to go. So we're gonna pop these bad boys into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes until nice and golden brown on all sides. Then about a minute before the end, just about a minute, if you want, you can flip them to ensure that they are nice and crispy underneath as well. I don't tend to do that because mine tend to come out crispy automatically. So let's go and pop these in the oven, and then let's watch them cook. All right, so the dinner bell just went off, so let's go ahead and turn this off. Now we're going to see how they turn out. Ooh-wee. These look scrumptious. Hopefully it's focusing. Yeah, these look really good. Now, you let these cool off, rest for about 5 minutes. Turn off your oven. Let them rest for about 5 minutes. Then we will cut them open, slather them in butter. All right, let's see how they look. Ooh, beautiful bagels. Nice and soft, delicious. Alright, and that's how you do it. See, I got some on my lip. Delicious, soft, sourdoughy, nice and flavorful. good to go. Hopefully yours turns out just as good. Have a good time.